A lot of people think that NFTs are just stupid JPEGs of silly monkeys. However, I think they have a very important place in the ecosystem of Web3, and in the future we'll see more cycles and more hype around NFTs. And in this video I want to show you a way to invest in the ecosystem of NFTs without actually buying the JPEGs. We're going to look into a platform which is an NFT trading platform. It's called LooksRare, and as usual we're going to look into the fundamentals, the things that I like, my concerns, and what I see as price potential, and what is my plan for this specific token. Let's jump right into it. LooksRare is an NFT trading platform with their own token, which is called Looks, and we're going to look a lot into detail, but this is basically one of the competitors of OpenSea, although compared to OpenSea the volumes here are much lower. However, LooksRare is very innovative. They always think of new ways to reward people that are creating the NFTs and also the holders of their tokens. They have implemented real yield in their tokenomics, which means basically the creators and the stakers of Looks receive huge parts of the revenue that the platform is making, which I think is a really cool and sustainable model. In my previous videos I have discussed this at length. I think this will be the future, and I really like seeing this type of platforms coming also to the NFT space. And that is actually one of the first things that I really like about this platform. If we go to the section of rewards here on the NFT platform, you'll be able to see that currently we have around 20% APY, which is a combination of wrapped ETH, which is the currency that most NFTs are traded on LooksRare, and also you receive a percentage in Looks, their local token that could be staked and compounded in order for you to receive a little bit more rewards. And here you can see the distribution. So currently we have around 10% of your APY in wrapped Ethereum and around 7.5% in their local token LooksRare. And the next thing that we need to see is here the total committed. So these are all the Looks tokens that are staked. And as you can see, the number is slightly above 630 million tokens. And compared to their overall circulation supply currently, which is around 800 million, this means that around 80% of all the tokens are staked. But also something very importantly, most of the releases of new tokens have already completed. And here you can see that the max supply is 1 billion tokens. So we're getting closer and closer to minting basically all the LooksRare tokens, and we can actually check out the schedule here on their website. I really like projects that have good documents and they can show you all of their data concerning, for example, tokenomics, which I consider to be very, very important. And here you can see that we're getting into the last periods of their token release, and they even have an announcement for this, and let me show you how it looks. So they're in phase 4 already, and this will decrease the inflation of the project. And actually here the rewards also will decrease pretty much in half, and this will continue for the next year until all the tokens here are minted. This of course means that the rewards for stakers will go down, but I think this is overall good thing for the project because it will be reducing the inflation first of all, and second of all, this will be less selling pressure for all the people that hold these tokens and are looking to sell them and make some money potentially. One other thing that I wanted to mention and I really like is about the team. They're great guys and they're innovating constantly, and here on the blog you can see that first of all, LooksRare is going to have a version 2. This has been taking a while already, as they mentioned in this blog article. However, they will be implementing a lot of cool stuff, like for example analytics, which in NFT space is still very new. We still need to go to different websites to check different data about NFTs, but OpenSea has already started implementing some analytics, and LooksRare have invested into a platform that will help them build this analytics, and it will be all available on the website. If we go back to the token release schedule, is that we have a lot of the tokens that the team is holding. It's around 20% of the overall supply that are going to be unlocked periodically here in the next year. However, they have pledged to hold these tokens staked and not sell any of them, and I think this is very great for the project that the founders are staying behind it, but also this is actually a very sustainable model for them to make money. Currently, the fees on the platform are around 2%, and half of this percentage goes to the creators of NFTs. They don't pay royalties. You have the option to pay a royalty if you want to when you're buying the NFT. However, the platform is not encouraging this, and they make sure that the creators have looks and they receive looks, and they can be staked and they can actually receive part of the entire revenue of the platform. This is also one of the innovations in the space, and I think it's a very sustainable model for creators. That is, of course, if there's enough volume on the platform, which we're going to look into in just a bit, in order to make the creators of these NFTs happy. And the remaining 1.5% of the revenue, which is in wrapped ETH, is distributed all through the stakers. So if the owners of the project hold around 20% of the supply, this means that pretty much they will be getting 20% of all the rewards out there. And this definitely can bring them benefits in the long term, especially if we see an uptick in volume in NFTs, and more specifically on the LooksRare platform, if we see an uptick in the volume here. One more thing that I like seeing in projects like this are if they're hiring people, and in this case for LooksRare, they have quite a lot of job ads and they're actually quite recent. And this tells me that definitely the team is working. This is, for example, from a few days ago. And this tells me that the team is developing and that they're building a community and they're trying to build a better platform with better services. And this is actually something that we're seeing on the platform. I see the developments, I see the improvements. And this is just another testament to the things that are happening behind the scenes. One more thing that I wanted to look, and actually it will be a great transition to the things that I don't really like, is the actual revenue of LooksRare. And here on Token Terminal, we can do this. First of all, this is the picture for the full year. And if we go to the max here, you'll see that this is clearly the boom of NFTs at the beginning of 2022. And you can see the massive volumes that NFTs had back at this moment. Currently, it's not so good and it doesn't look so good. The volume is down probably like 90%, but definitely I see this recovering once we see some money going back into crypto and people appreciating a little bit more NFTs, and we're back in a risk-on environment. This could take a while. And while this has been happening, I can show you the revenue numbers right here. You can see that the platform has been consistently bringing revenue even in these conditions. That's the daily chart. And if we go to the monthly chart, you'll see that in January, they already have collected almost 1.5 million in fees and in revenue. And in December, the number was 2.5 million. So you can see that we still have quite a lot of money in the space. And obviously the project makes a lot of revenue for the tokens that they are staking. However, there's also a concern here that I wanted to show you, and that is if we jump to the daily active users. And here you can see a graph comparing the daily active users to the revenue that they are making. And in December and in January, they have an average of 800, 500 users per day, which I think is an extremely low number. Even in the peak season here, they had around 1,500 users, which wasn't great. And it kind of makes me doubt the number of the revenue that they're sharing, because imagine this, 800 people in December made a revenue, so they traded NFTs like crazy to bring to the project around $2.5 million. I don't know what kind of NFT traders are like this, but if we jump into the activity here on LooksRare and just explore exactly what people are buying and selling, you'll be able to see that not all deals here on the NFTs are so big. And if we click here on the sales for the last just few minutes, okay, there's some sales of around 5 Ethereum, 0.4 Ethereum, but they're also very small buys like this one, 0.066 Ethereum. These are really insignificant. So I'm having doubts about these revenue numbers and I'm not sure they're accurate. I haven't personally staked any of the LooksRare tokens. I personally don't hold any Looks right now. So I'm not sure if the numbers add up, and that's actually one of my biggest concerns. The other one is also about the competitors. This is actually the elephant in the room. The major competitor of any NFT platform is OpenSea. And you can see here a graph comparing OpenSea volume with X2, Y2 and LooksRare. And here you can see the massive difference between OpenSea and any other platform. If we jump on the monthly chart again, these are the active users per month, and you can see that in the past year or so, OpenSea keeps dominating absolutely everyone. And even X2, Y2, you can see it has here for August 2022 around 4,000 active users, and LooksRare has only 500. And if we move to December, similar number, just 2,000 active users for X2, Y2, and LooksRare has 800. So these are really small numbers. And yet, if we compare the revenue, it seems that LooksRare is making more money than X2, Y2. I don't know how this is possible with this amount of users, but again, you can see that OpenSea has 5 times more the revenue of LooksRare and almost 10 times more than X2, Y2. So it will be very difficult for people to move to LooksRare, and they always need to be innovating. They always need to bring up new things, new ideas, new ways of attracting new customers. And I think this could be very hard for the team, because if they have to do this consistently, at some point they will run out of ideas and of things to do. And how much more innovation you can bring to the space? Obviously it's a limitless. And how much more innovation can bring up to the space? And obviously OpenSea is seeing what's going on the scene, so they themselves can implement some of these innovations. So that's why I think LooksRare is definitely a nice NFT player, but also has big risks with it. So what is my plan here for LooksRare? First of all, this is the chart, and you can see that it hasn't really had a cycle. It was only a downtrend, and LooksRare was launched exactly when the NFT bull market was coming to a close, and it hasn't really had that much of time to have a really nice like 10 or 50x on the token. And obviously there was a lot of pressure from all the tokens that were minted, because in the beginning they were giving looks here and there like rewards for selling or buying NFTs and staking and so on to attract more and more customers. But now that this phase is gone, you can see here that the price has been bottoming out and it's forming some kind of accumulation. We still have lower highs and lower lows all the way. However, we have signs also that if we break this level somewhere around here, we might see some strength in this token. Obviously, I'm not gonna be in a rush to buy it, just because, as you can see, the chart still has lower highs, lower lows. However, if we see some volume back into NFTs, and I'll definitely be tracking this data here on OpenSea also, and the daily active users on other NFT platforms. And if this starts picking up, and if we start seeing trading volume also picking up from the depths of the bear market that we are for NFTs right here, I will be definitely interested in a trade setup for LooksRare. It's much easier for me to trade this instead of trying to buy different JPEGs that I don't know anything about. I think the risk there is much higher because there's not enough liquidity in the NFT space overall, and you have to find someone to sell the NFT to. And usually that's not so easy to find, and there are a lot of other complications in the space. But something like this, which is an infrastructure play, this is a platform, it generates fees, it's profitable, it's NFT related. I really like those kind of plays which are basically the picks and shovels of a specific space, and they're not just speculation on one project if it will succeed or not. If NFTs go up, this platform will go up, and I definitely plan to have a bag of it if I see some strength and if I see a breakout, for example, and confirmation here that we're seeing some trend shifts here, and obviously that we have change in the volume of NFTs. What's the price potential on this one? I think most of the selling pressure is already gone, and a lot of the people have already sold their looks if they were trying to sell it and if they are not staking it. So I think we could easily reach something like 5x, 10x from here. Actually, this key resistance level here around $2.5 is around 900% gains. So if we get a proper bull run, I don't think that's impossible to be reached. However, obviously there are some key levels here around, I would say, $1. This is a round number, and you can see we had a pause here back in March of 2022. So definitely this could be an area if I decide to take a position. And I don't think this will be an easy play overall, and that's why I'm going to position myself relatively small compared to the risk that obviously this play has. But I definitely want to have some of the NFT plays because I truly believe in the space. In a way, I want to support it. Of course, I want to make money and I want to make a good trade. But also I believe that NFTs have long-term potential, and this is my way to kind of support this idea. Let's see what happens. This was everything for this video, guys, and if you have questions, you know how to find me.